So, hi everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm honored to guide you through this profound healing journey today. Have you ever caught yourself reacting to something and thought, I sound just like my mother, or I am doing exactly what my father did? Have you noticed patterns in your family that seem to repeat generation after generation? Maybe they are ways of handling conflict. Maybe they are relationships with money, patterns of communication, cycles of pain, or certain experiences or events that keep on showing up. You're not imagining it. Families do pass down patterns, both beautiful gifts and painful burdens, through what we call generational inheritance. But here's the powerful truth: you have the ability to heal what you've inherited and transform what gets passed forward. So today, we are going to explore the invisible threads that connect you to your family lineage, honor what serves you, and gently release what no longer belongs in your story. You have the power to be the one who breaks unhealthy cycles and creates new, healthier patterns for yourself and also for future generations. So find a comfortable position where you can rest completely and just let my words guide you for this journey. Let your eyes close softly and know that you are stepping into sacred work that can heal not just you, but your entire family line. So let's take a deep breath now. And breathing out, arriving in the present moment. And again, take a deep breath in. And breathing out. Now, as you're focusing on your breath, as you're coming back to the now, imagine yourself connected to an intricate web of invisible threads that stretch back through time, connecting you to every person in your family lineage who came before you. I'm now seeing myself connected to this intricate web of invisible threads, going back not just to my parents, but to every single person that came before me. Now, these threads carry many things: your grandmother's resilience, your great-grandfather's work ethic, your mother's creativity, your father's strength. But they also carry the unhealed wounds, the fears, the patterns of survival that helped your ancestors get through difficult times, but may no longer serve you. I want you to just feel into this connection to your lineage. I am dropping into a space in my body which is connected to my ancestors. This subconscious, deep part of me is very much connected and loyal to not just the gifts but also to the pain of my ancestors. I'm dropping into that space now. Feel into this connection to your lineage. You're not separate from those who came before you. Their experiences, their struggles, their triumphs, their unfinished healing. All of this lives within your cells, within your nervous system, and your way of being in the world. As I am now connected to this field, as I am now connected to my ancestral body, let's gently explore what you might have inherited from your family line. And these patterns often feel so normal, so much like just who you are. And you might not even have recognized them as inherited. So let's now bring to mind patterns you've noticed in your family. And the field is intelligent and it will bring up things for you that you need to see today. Let's bring to mind patterns you've noticed in your family. Maybe it's a way of handling emotions, shutting down when things get difficult, exploding in anger, maybe never being able to accumulate wealth, maybe never having a harmonious relationship, or maybe something else. Just let that come to you now. Patterns that you've noticed in your family. Perhaps it's patterns in relationships, difficulty trusting, fear of abandonment, always putting other people's needs ahead of my own. Or maybe it's disappointment that you learned by watching adults around you. Whatever is showing up for you, whatever you are aware of in your own family line, from your parents, from uncles, from ancestors, or whatever the field is showing you now. Some of these patterns might have helped your ancestors survive difficult circumstances. Maybe a tendency to worry might have kept your grandmother safe during uncertain times. And emotionally shutting down might have helped your great-grandfather through that trauma which he had. So working constantly might have been how your parents provided for the family. So this is us honoring these patterns. I honor the patterns for how they served my family line. Even as you recognize they might not serve you anymore. And I'll say this again, honor these patterns for how they served your family line, even as you recognize they might not serve you anymore. Now trusting this very, very intelligent field that we have opened right now, we can name the patterns. We may have a rough idea of what we may be carrying from our ancestors, from our parents. But the vessel that your soul lives in, which is your body, carries this as a physical energy. So after this breath, let's notice what it feels like in your body to carry these inherited patterns. It is my intention now to feel, sense, and see the energy of generational inheritance, if any, in my body. Where do you feel them? Maybe there is a tension in your shoulders from carrying a worry that isn't even yours. Maybe there's a heaviness in your chest from inherited sadness or unexpressed grief. You might feel like me, a knot in your stomach from inherited anxiety, or as a tightness in your throat from words that generations of your family couldn't speak. I am noticing any heaviness, tension, anxiety areas in my body which are active. Just allowing these to come up in my body. The invisible weights that I was carrying even without realizing are now coming up in me now. Take a moment now to feel the full weight of what you've been carrying. And remember, this is not to overwhelm you, but to acknowledge the burden you've been so strong to bear and carry. You've been carrying not just your own experiences, but the unfinished healing of your lineage. And that's a heavy load for anyone to carry. And you've been doing it with such courage, often without even knowing it. Now my conscious mind will say, why will I choose to carry a pain for somebody else? Why will I choose a limiting pattern or beliefs about money or anxiety or a disease? Why will I take that from my grandmother, from my father, or whoever? So we don't inherit these patterns by accident. And this sacred work says that on some level, your soul chose to carry these patterns, possibly because you have the capacity to heal what previous generations could not. On a soul level, I chose to carry these experiences because I have the capacity to heal what my previous generations couldn't. You are what we might call a generational healer, someone with consciousness, awareness, and the courage to transform family patterns that have been stuck for decades or even centuries. It takes one person to do the work, to heal it for your previous and your future generations. And if you found yourself here now, maybe you are that soul in your family. Just letting that understanding sink in. We are not judging anybody for their pain. We are not judging anybody for their experiences. We are not blaming anybody. We are simply acknowledging now, remembering the truth that's coming from my soul, that I chose all this so I can one day realize what I'm carrying, and then I can finally break the chain. Also notice what these words are doing to your body, to that heaviness that you may have had previously. Now your ancestors did the best with what they had. Now you can heal what they couldn't heal. And this doesn't make you better than them. You're just fulfilling the deepest hopes of your lineage. They struggled, so you can have the freedom to heal. They struggled, so you could have the freedom to heal. Allowing yourself to feel what you feel, Sense what you sense, see what you see. Completely trusting this sacred field, this sacred space, this sacred energy in your body for this healing. Now, before we begin the healing process, let's take a moment to honor your ancestors for their resilience, survival, and their determination to keep going even when life was difficult. Bring to mind now the stories that you know about your family, the challenges they faced, the hardships they endured, the obstacles they overcame just to ensure you could exist. Feel into the strength, the love, the fierce determination to survive and create a future. Even their survival patterns, which might feel limiting to you now, came from love. Love for life, love for family, and for the hope of better days ahead. So now the same web of threads that I'm connected to, I'm going to turn back. And if you're a visual person, you can maybe bring up a vision of your parents, behind them their parents, behind them more ancestors. Or you could simply just receive my words. The healing will happen regardless. Receiving my words or speaking them out loud. Thank you for surviving. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your love. Thank you for making my existence possible. Thank you for surviving. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your love. Thank you for making existence possible. And now feel this gratitude flowing backwards through time, reaching every ancestor who contributed to you being here today. Now, we are going to consciously choose what you want to keep from your inheritance and what you're going to transform. Think for a moment now about the gifts that your family has given you. Maybe it's your resilience, creativity, humor, strength, loyalty, your looks. Feel the positive qualities that you're grateful to have inherited. And now breathe these gifts more deeply into your being. And even if nothing comes to mind, you can simply say yes to the parts of your inheritance that serve your highest good and you want to continue carrying forward. You want to pass on to your future generations. You can just say an inner yes to the parts of my inheritance that serve my highest good. I welcome the parts of my inheritance that serve my highest good. And feel these gifts now becoming more vibrant and more alive within you. You're choosing to be a conscious carrier of your family's strength and beauty. Now that I have honored and accepted all the gifts and the parts that I want to keep, with the love, understanding, and the sacred space you have created today, let's look at what you're ready to release. These might be patterns of fear, limitation, unexpressed anger, or ways of being that worked for survival but are not needed in your life anymore. Bring to mind patterns that you may have inherited that you're ready to transform. Anything that comes to mind, you cannot get this process wrong. Maybe it's a tendency towards negative thinking, a pattern of self-criticism, difficulty expressing emotions, beliefs about money, health, anything. Whatever you're consciously aware of now, hold this pattern with compassion. It may come up as a thought in your mind, and sometimes patterns just show up in the body. So whatever you're aware of right now, hold this pattern with compassion. Feeling it served your family line, but it doesn't have to continue with you. You can be the one who completes this cycle. I want you to now, speaking to the same web line of ancestors, just receiving my words. I am the little one. You are the big ones. I now leave this with you. This is your pain. This is your story. This belongs to you. I leave this with you. I leave this with you. I leave this with you. Now as you breathe out, you can sense, see, visualize this old pattern dissolves. Not with violence, not with rejection, but with love and gratitude. You can actually feel a relief in your body, or you may be seeing something, you may be sensing something. Just allow this process to happen. Something that I was carrying all my life without even being aware of it, now starts to move out. Leave me. It's flowing back and it's being transformed. It's flowing back and it's being transformed. I can see my ancestors feeling lighter, feeling happy as well. Now, in the space where this old pattern used to be, we are going to plant some new seeds, new ways of being that you consciously choose. So if you have released anxiety, what pattern would you like to plant there? Maybe it's trust, maybe it's calm. If you've released beliefs about money, maybe you want to plant the seed of abundance there. So anything that you may have let go of today, I want you to find a healthier version of that and breathe that in. See these new patterns as seeds that you're planting in your own being. And these patterns will not only affect you, but everyone connected to you. Your children, your family members, and even the future generations you may never meet. Feel now these new patterns taking root into your body, your nervous system, and your ways of being in the world. You're becoming that ancestor now that your future generations will thank for breaking the cycle. Breathing in the new pattern, breathing in the healing. Breathing in the new pattern, breathing in the healing. Now place both your hands on your heart and feel the profound power of what you've just done. You've taken responsibility not just for healing yourself, but your entire family system. And this is one of the most important, sacred, and powerful work that a human being can do. Transforming inherited pain into wisdom, breaking cycles of suffering. You're not just healing for yourself, you're healing for every ancestor, family member who couldn't heal this pattern. Feel the strength in your heart, the sense of purpose, and the recognition that your healing matters to the entire web of life connected to you. Now, with your hands still on your heart, as we prepare to complete this journey, I want you to take a moment to appreciate the courage it takes to do this work. Now, not everyone is willing to look at inherited patterns or to take responsibility for transformation, or maybe some people are not even open to this in this incarnation. So if your awareness has allowed this to come in today, take a moment to appreciate yourself for doing this. You have the consciousness, the commitment, and the love required to heal what others couldn't heal. Now make a gentle commitment to yourself that I will notice old patterns when they try to resurface, and I choose new responses, and I will remember that I can be the author of new family patterns. This is not work you have to do perfectly. It is just work you have to do with love, patience, and commitment. Now take 3 deep breaths, feeling yourself carrying this healing forward into your daily life. You're no longer unconsciously repeating old patterns. And when you're ready now, you can slowly open your eyes, knowing that you've participated in one of the most sacred forms of healing possible, the healing of family lines, the transformation of generational patterns, and the creation of new possibilities for all who come after you. Remember this from now on, you are a generational healer. Trust this role, honor this calling, and know that your healing matters more than you ever know, fully. The chain of inherited pain stops with you. The legacy of conscious healing begins with you. You can return to this recording, you can do this again, and you may be met with a different layer next time. Thank you very, very, very much for joining me today, and namaste.